Evening.
Come home now, Ken. 4 days at sea. You may have gained a great haul of fish, but what's good in that? You can't come home and rest.
That ain't all. We've been to Roscoe.
You caught a different kind of fish then?
Aye. Fish are the sweetest spirits, Millie.
Which will do you as little good as catching the scaly kind if you don't come home and get a hot meal inside you.
Tonight I'll be at home with my lovely wife.
Considering how cold you are, I think it'd be me warming the bed, Bob, and not you. In fact, no, I ain't having you in bed as cold as you are. I'd take a fright. I think there's a ghost there and not you.
Oh, I shouldn't worry then. For you might wonder how I can be returned to the caves beneath Berry Head when at the self-same time I'm in bed with my lovely wife.
And what about me, Bob?
I'm sure you can wait for me one more night. Now, what's for dinner?
Is that all I am? A bed warmer and cook to serve upon every desire of yours.
And a mighty fine one you make at that. Not many bed warmers stay off the coast guard with a saucepan as well as you, my dear. Or running in when the rightful master is away on a business trip.
Well, I need to come soon.
Right. This battle's might not up to much at all.
And what would you do, eh? If the cook decided to leave, take a dim leave, and then what would you do?
I'll find another. There will be a few men as good at catch as I. And there are plenty of maids who are fishing.
Dad, Master Prince said he overheard the Coast Guard saying they're coming to the inn, so she come tell you.
Now that was the right thing to do. Now you go home with your mother. Don't you worry about anything. Right, I have to be getting along. Having a word with some of the boys about tonight. I'll be home directly.
It'd be all hot morning. Oh, it's a good time about.
Fire plenty out there, Bob. No mistake.
Don't I know it, Jem? She's a good woman, though.
So how can you expect to get the gear in the caves tonight? The ship's full of fish to be unloaded and the Coast Guard's watching us constantly. That's obvious.
I wouldn't worry about that. Martha will be giving Rob a hand unloading here. Meanwhile, John is giving us a hand with the other cargo.
That'll be the Coast Guard.
What are we doing here other than talking about the unloading of the catch? You'd think we were rogues. Evening.
Evening. Evening.
How's the catch, Bob?
Well, you know, it ain't the best. But then it ain't near the worst either. I ain't complaining, other than having my missus come down here sound off how I ought to be at home for me dinner, where I'm down here earning an honest penny to buy the next. That's her complaining, not me.
Heard you got as far as Frenchy waters, eh, Bob?
Maps ain't exactly laid on top of the seas, Master Trotter. Aye, we went a bit far, and then turned back as soon as we realised there was a strong wind.
Well, there's rumours you brought back more than fish, Bob. Now, I know you be wily enough not to bring anything other than fish into the harbour, but I am warning you.
Ha! Warning me? Master Trotter, you'd be better off warning the smugglers. I run a clean ship, for better or for worse, a law-abiding one. You're new on this stretch of coast, so I won't take no offence. But mind how you go. Sounding off like that is likely to get you into hot water, both from honest gents like me and from those less honest.
Mr. Elliot, we but do our duty.
Of course you are. Of course you are.
Bob, he has to do his duty. It is men like him who keep the water safe.
This here is Master Jack Southern, new down from Topness.
If it's alright with you, Mr. Elliot, we'll be at your inn later. I hear you sell a fine ale.
Why, thank you. It'll be a pleasure to have two distinguished gentlemen come, instead of the usual rabble.
There you see, Bob. Now they expect to see you at the inn tonight, And you and me are meeting John to see to your fish at the headlands.
Aye. I'm sure Maria has that plan for...
Dad, Mum's come to say that you've forgotten something and she's really upset. She's going to speak to you when you come home, and then you can go get some more work done.
Thank you, Emily. Now, you're going to be walking back to the inn with me. It's getting dark soon, and I don't want you running around late playing with those shear children in the dark. See? It's easy enough to do. Maria and I will make it quite clear that we ain't able to receive company. Ruth can cover for us.
You've been thinking for harebrained schemes there, mate. What is it you have in mind where to meet you?
That's between Maria and me. Now do as I say. You and the lads meet me at Fishcombe at 11 tonight. Quiet here tonight.
Yeah, well, this inn serves the best ale in Brixham.
What can I get you, gentlemen?
We've come to try the ale. Mr. Elliot says it's the best in Brixham, and we've come to see if he's right.
Ah, yes, sir. Master Bateman's best.
What's the matter with the poor lady?
Well, it's their wedding anniversary, and instead of coming home to her, Master Bateman's unloading his catch down the harbour. He seems to have forgot all about her.
Well, a man's got to do what a man's got to do. Can't be tied to his words even seems the whole of his life.
No, I think you're talking to the wrong sex there. I would say that ain't a chore, but once a year after all.
Maria, is that me dinner? Come now, woman. There's little enough that will cause you such heartbreak. And you should dry your eyes. We have visitors.
Oh, Bob, I think you forgot something.
Oh? What's that, my love?
You forgot again. It's our wedding anniversary, and you forgot. How could you do that? Here I am slaving after you. You forget everything.
What have I forgotten?
Our wedding anniversary. You see, you clean forgot. You can't even listen to me when I speak to you. I might as well never have cooked that meal for you. If my mother could see me now, she was right all along. I could have had that man up Exeter way. And no, I chose you. All you've ever done is break my heart. You big oaf. And what are you staring at with your eyes bugging out like a couple of dead pounders? You eat your food and then you can sleep in the kitchen. I'm done with you for one day.
Maria! Maria! Ruth, you and the guests may as well have that meal. Maria and I have a few other things to do this evening. Never can stay too hungry for long. Not with me.
Perhaps I was wrong. That Jack's going to be far too busy to be abroad tonight. Jack, what say you finish our ales here and then search for our own beds, cold and empty though they be? You would care to join me, would you, Ruth?
No, thank you, sir. This be a respectable inn, if you don't mind me saying.
A respectable inn, eh? Don't see many of those about these days. Did I ever tell you the tale of our oyster Nan, Jack?
I don't think you did, but it sounds like a good tale.
Do you need any more beers, gentlemen?
No, we're fine, thank you, my lass.
Well, call me if you need any more. I have to clean this, or Miss Elliot will kill me in the morning. She's very particular.
We noticed. A very strict lady. Oh.
Now, what was that tale? Ah, yes. It's only a tale, mind you. I heard it from the old chaps down the quay. They said old Oyster Nan used to sell oysters, caught by her brother, down at the old fish market. Fine oysters too, it said. Ain't never been better. Well, she was still a maid at 25, on account of her stubbly chin and poor eyesight. No fellow ever felt quite right kissing a woman with a stubble chin. And it said she couldn't ever understand why, being as she couldn't see her own chin to shave. Well, of course the poor maid was lonely. All her friends went off and got wedded and had little children by the buckets load. And there she was, all alone. Well, she had to do something, didn't she? And she didn't have a fella. And not being blessed with much sense of the idea that someone might be watching, on account of if roles were reversed, she wouldn't have been able to see, she didn't always go inside to do it. Well, she was out there like she was most evenings, after feeding her hens, when this up-country gent comes by. Also not too good in the eyes, or that particular about his lady friends, but his sight was good enough to see her. Well, one thing led to another, and they soon...
There is a young ears in the room.
Oh yes, I forget myself. Well, the handful of gold afterwards got her a-thinking, and she found that a most handy source of income. You know, it's said that oysters make one feel more friendly. Soon the sales went up so high that they couldn't keep up. Well, the upshot of this tale is that up-country gent came back. He liked Nan, and they got married. They're now living up somewhere Bristol way, but Nan used to live here before she got married.
A fine tale. Know of it, miss?
Sorry?
Know of old Oyster Nan living here?
Isaac Trotter is the biggest spinner of tall yarns on the southwest coast, sir. I paid no mind.
Ah, the poor lass be afeard. Such a crude tale for such delicate ears.
Well, these delicate young ears have heard quite enough sailors talk to make your tale sound quite jaded. One day, I'll tell you the story of the merman and the coast guard. Makes Oyster Nan look like a cultured lady in comparison.
Sounds like a nice tale.
Maybe I'll tell you, but another day. Anyway, it said that the merman lived in sea caves just underneath the Coast Guard cottages here in Brixham. And many a myth based on truth.
Join us in a song, then, lad.
I must.
Farewell to old England forever. Farewell to Mary Rumskulls as well. Farewell to the well-known Old Bailey, where I used to cry such a swell. Singing to-ra-lie-do-ra-lie-a-dee, singing to-ra-lie-do-ra-lie-a, hey! Singing to-ra-lie-do-ra-lie-a-dee, and we're bound for Botany Bay. There's the master as is our commander, there's the boatswain and all the ship's crew, there's the first and the second class passengers, no small transport on Brixham England I cares about. Tain't 'cause we forget what we knows, but 'cause all us light-fingered gentry hops around like a log on our toes. Now all you young dukies and duchesses, take warning from what I to say. Mind all is your own as you touches, or you'll join us in Matinee Bay. Singing Turalai-Uralai-Adity, singing Turalai-Uralai-Ay, hey, singing Turalai-Uralai-Adity, and we're bound for Matinee Bay. Let's go along then.
Good night.
Nice.
I wouldn't mind seeing with you again sometime.
Maybe. Night then.
Are they gone?
Aye, they have. Shouldn't be inviting such as them to a respectable inn.
I think I wanted to. We must show everyone proper hospitality. Thanks, my love.
Look at those coats get when they did. My supper was getting cold. Oh, dear me, boo.
Well, that was a clever trick of yours. Make them think you was too busy for 'em tonight. Saved a lot of talking and time wasting.
It certainly did.
So, you'll be here at 11 tomorrow?
Aye, Ruth. 11.
Oh.
You there, lads? Aye, yeah. What kept you? Coastguards and women. Are you sure you won't hear so?
Aye. Definitely us.
That be the coastguards. Mira was aimless. Meaning out she needed loving and thrown her right flood of tears that I'd forgotten the wedding anniversary.
Anniversary ain't till the winter.
Aye, I knows, and she knows, but Jack and Isaac don't. I actually can't do any work then. Ain't nothing to gain standing around here. Come on. Go ahead. Someone's coming.
Singing Turalai-Uralai-Adity, singing Turalai-Uralai-Adity, singing Turalai-Uralai-Adity, we're bound for Matinee Bay.
Oh, the sweetest fish landed yet.
The silver will be sweeter yet. I know. The sweetest is the knowledge that we be safe. We're almost at my door. Your ears like the door unlocked.
Bob? Bob, you can come up here as soon as you've done that.
Hey, Bob, let's be following that call. Oh, I am. Been too long at sea, I have.
If they work on our own, they never suspect young women like us.
Buying some.
I'll be sure to tell Mrs. Elliot. I'm sure they'll be pleased.
How come a pretty young lass like yourself ain't wed yet?
I ain't never met a man as I've wed yet.
But surely you don't get a bit lonely?
Not at all. Miss Elliot?
I know us.
I won't be here for some days. My pa's took sick again, and there's this doctor in Exeter he has to see. Oh, by the way, Isaac reckons he knows hotel man at Ballad might want to buy some fresh fish.
What is you believing? It's the one long journey for a young lass and a sick man, and to a strange town.
Not too long. I have been there twice before.
Well, you must do what's right, of course. Will you be here today?
I am.
Well then, my girl, the floor needs a mopping after the men in their dirty grey boots.
Right, as good as done.
So it's mandate.
Aye, well, you have been at sea a lot recently. I, for one, welcome having the men folk at home.
That's all well. My roof needs fixing before the winter storms.
Well, it won't be long. A few days at the most. And the next landing will have to be honest. Jack and Isaac are looking a bit too close at us. We need to show them what honest men we are. Meanwhile, we sold that last cargo, and we can split the profits tonight.
Get back a little bottle of three for us. Celebration for the snow lads. That's all very well. When I have something to celebrate.
Oh, about our success last trip, you dour man. Anyway, young Green will be here tonight as well. You know he was doing that job for Nick Gillard.
Aye. Nick Gillard will be one of our best customers. For all he lives in County.
I'm ready to see the vegetable patch.
Ah, well. Not all vegetables come in a barrel, me lad. Maria does well with that patch. If you didn't do anything with it, if you like as or not, be derelict anyway.
Afternoon, Bob.
Be it afternoon already?
Aye, Bob, it is. Oh, the old mother sent me over to ask if you have anything medicinal. That, if you understand.
Aye, for sure. One of her headaches is it.
Aye, Bob.
Well, there's nothing for good that is for that. It's the drop of the right stuff. Maria's inside. Have a word with her.
I will. Thank you, Bob.
Good afternoon, Mistress Gillard.
Good afternoon, Mistress Dugdale.
And a good one it be, ain't it?
Mighty fine, Master Shears, mighty fine.
Stuck up, ain't she?
Well, she can't be seen associating with the likes of us.
Look, that's done. Let's take it inside and get some of Marie's coin. I
Aye.
swear I need to get that recipe off her.
Tell your brother Rob we're off to sea in another 2 days. Don't you forget.
I won't, Bob. Thank you. Thank you, Maria.
You know, most apprentices live in their master's house.
Ah, well. Rather a young lad like Rob didn't live in an inn. It's not right.
But my daughter Emily does.
That'd be different.
Well, Mistress Pring, we have you at last.
What are you rattling on about now?
You didn't hide those 30 barrels too well, did you?
What barrels?
The ones we found in your garden. You didn't hide them. Well, after all this time, you thought it was Master Elliot. You're under arrest.
I ask again, what barrels? I know nothing of this.
Really? In your vegetable patch? We have space here for a hearing at the inn. I'm sure Master Elliot will oblige us by permitting us the use of the lounge.
I'm sure he will. We ain't never been friends. And what of my husband? When I come home, and he'll wonder where I've been.
If next time he'll be more careful.
This is a setup, Jack. I'm no smuggler.
Well, the evidence says otherwise, and you're coming with us now.
Oh.
No?
I do. She bought me that Windsor Spectre last year. She's a nice lady.
I know, Emily. That was a bad time we lost half roof in that storm, Bob. I'm disgusted at you.
Won't be the first time, Maria. Besides, those who are sneaky always try to find their way to your heart within it.
Oh, that's funny.
Right?
Aye, that may be. But shouldn't those in the trade be working together?
We do. We do. Now cease your worrying. Martha, I'm sure you have your embroidery back home.
Embroidery? What do you know about women, Bob? See you later, then, Bob. Goodbye, Maria. Good afternoon, Emily.
Afternoon, Emma. Emily, come and help me mend that curtain in the kitchen.
It's all arranged. It's known John and his missus don't like us much, nor I him. Them living up there in that fancy cottage, John calling himself Captain John Pring, if you please, sir. This is a chance to get the next cargo away. Yeah, and they'll have a couple of money. And our Jack and Isaac and their lot will be so afeard, nothing will come of the arrest. Mark my words.
The law of the land clearly states that you shall not become engaged in smuggling, Mistress Pring. Do you have anything to say?
We repeat, Mr. Pring, do you have anything to say?
Nothing, unless you and your men care to explain how you planted the evidence. My husband owns 2 trawlers. He has no need to engage in smuggling, unlike some here.
Now, Mrs. Pring, no need to accuse others of your crimes and your failings. 2 barrels of French spirits were found in the garden of your cottage today, thus incriminating you in the spate of smuggling that's been rife in the town for the past 5 years. Witnesses state here that they've seen you, your husband, and his crew bringing in more than just an honest catch, and with the 2 trawlers, you can bring in enough to supply all the surrounding countryside. The fishing boat Mermaid was searched, and a strong smell of brandy and tobacco was found.
Then why did you not bring the evidence here for all to see?
It's hard to bring a smell, Mistress Pring, although any whomsoever wish to inspect the Mermaid for themselves may do so. And they may also view the casks, now in safekeeping,
And empty, no doubt.
at the Coast Guard house, and the marks of the casks in the Pring's vegetable patch.
That you won't!
Why? It is illegal to destroy evidence.
It ain't there now.
Mistress Pring, in view of the testimony of Master Southern and myself, and the independent viewing of the evidence by Mr. Gillard, we can but find you guilty, and fine you £20.
£20?
That is the usual sum. It's only because you're in a delicate condition that we have exercised leniency, and Mr. Pring is not facing prison.
Mrs. Pring, these men are scum. But be quite quiet, John's not going to be arrested.
Monsters!
Good work, Mrs. Pring. You should be on the London stage.
And now the Coast Guards believe the ringleader of the gang has been discovered. That leaves us free to land the biggest cargo ever seen.
Thank you, everyone. There will now be a short interval. Teas and coffees will be served.
stare until they rot. And here's our Bob, laid up with the gout.
Short-term inconvenience. You can make this run without me.
Why, convenient, ain't it?
Typical of men, being in at the worst possible time.
Why, but sometimes it's all right. They like to think that we ladies ain't bright enough to do anything like this, so we get by where the men couldn't. Besides, skirts are very useful for concealing packets of tobacco.
Sure enough. Well, I'd hate to see my husband try to get past the Coast Guard wearing a dress.
With his magnificent beard, I'd have to agree with you.
With all this stuff in the inn, I run more risk than any of you, dresses or no. Now, our friends in Totnes want 6 kegs and soon, by tomorrow at the latest. We'll lose their business if we can't get at them.
And that would be a crying shame. What are we going to do?
This time I ain't sardine of no idea.
Well, the Coast Guards is away tonight. Father and John Pring, if I knows anything about that.
Get 3 kegs to Totnes. 3's easy enough to hide underneath an old straw in the back of Dugdale's car.
It better be paid extra.
You'll get your share, then we'll worry about the next 3 afterwards.
Come on, everyone. Let's leave Bob to tend to the mercies of Maria. Let's get this while Jack and I are busy. Come on.
Jim, a second, all right? Susan ain't needed to go to Totnes. Thomas was worried she'd run herself to a frazzle with the trail, fish market and all. Tell her to get home and have some rest.
All right, not to worry.
There's 3 times as much work.
3 times?
Aye, 3 times. And the girl she is. Pity she's not excellent.
I swear she is. Why?
Bob, do you ever listen to a thing I tell you? That's took sick. She went with it to Exeter to the doctor.
Aye. Took sick with what?
Don't think Ruth's gone past quite sure. He's been failing these past months now, ain't you noticed?
I don't know the man. Ain't seen him for a while.
Why wasn't I sent to Totnes?
Takes a man to lift the keg, not a lady.
That don't cut it. Ruth does, Martha does, Maria does.
Aye, I knows. But truth to tell, the fewer people on that run, the better. And you was exhausted.
He's still watching us.
I Susan, he is, not as much as he was. It's just that we know he's at Brixham tonight. That's the reason that they can't come to see.
Just warn me, it looks like Isaac's heading this way.
All right, run along, lass. And you too, Susan. Get along, get yourself some rest. There's nothing to be afeared of. Evening, sir.
Evening. Heard anything of Jim Shears tonight?
Oh, I saw him earlier. Must have left an hour ago. And he has work to do on his roof or something.
At night?
Jim's well known to be a little bit strange. And anyhow, I think it was work on his attic space. That's all. What can I get you to drink?
Oh, well, I'm here. I've a drop of ale.
Come in.
How's you, Bob? Any better?
I will be. I will be. The Almighty sends things such as gout to try us, nothing more.
Well, I best be off to check on Jim Shears.
I wouldn't if I were you. His nipper has whooping cough.
Really?
Oh, aye.
Very well. Evening, Bob.
Evening.
Nosy, any?
Aye. The lad only wanted to see if I really was laid up or not. Lucky for me, I'd be indisposed. Martha's looking well.
Oh, aye, good health. Not gathering with her friends as usual instead of helping me. I'll be glad to marry her off.
She works hard at the fish gate.
I reckon she's hoping some handsome sailor will carry her off one day. And I hope he does too.
Puts me in mind of a song I heard years ago. How's it going? My, we are having all the visitors tonight. Evening, Betty.
I do wish you'd address me by my correct name, Bob Elliot.
I am sorry, my lady. I am, but
Bob?
Evening, Mr. Skillard.
Evening, Mistress Lake. You must forgive Bobby Elizabeth. He's in some pain and not himself tonight.
Aye, well, this is a short visit. I am well aware that you're connected with the trade, Master Elliot.
Am I?
It's common knowledge. Anyway, I was wondering, on your next delivery, I might be interested in some French spirits for my mother's health. The word is, it's going to be a very cold winter and she's so delicate.
Well, I know some people in the trade. Yes, most sailors do. Won't be cheap though.
I will pay a cask if it's not too much to ask.
A goodly supply. I'll tell the people I need to tell and pass the word on. Though I ought to warn you, John Pring is out of business at the moment.
I am well aware of that, Master Elliot, but he is not the only trader in Brixham, is he? Can I leave it with you then?
Aye, leave it with me.
Very good, thank you. Good evening, gentlemen. Ladies.
Evening.
Evening. Well, I best be off. I complain about my Martha gathering around. I'd best be setting the example.
Aye, night then.
I'll see you in a few days, Bob. You're feeling better.
Right. I'm off to bed.
Aye, me too.
So I tells you, I saw him taking a cart full of casks to Totnes last night.
Can't have. I was there, and so was Bob. Laid up with the gout, sat in the bar room talking. And Jim Shears has one of his children down with the whooping cough. Anyway, if they did, there's no evidence in the inn now then, is there?
No, but there now are more in a rude gang than just Bob and Shears. There's Aaron Trier and Bob Soapdale and his missus. Oh, and the Lakeman woman.
More women?
Aye, and an apprentice lad. Green, I think he'd be called.
Well, there's not much in the inn now, is there, once they've done that? Besides, the Prings will be behaving themselves after that fine we gave them. Won't do us any harm to sit and watch the inn more closely for a while.
Do you really know we sold the casks too?
Of course not. Those were confiscated as illegal contraband and were destroyed. And don't forget it.
The destroying tasted mighty good though.
I brought a little drop. Keep off the night chills while we watch the inn.
The Coast Guard is still watching the place like hawks, Bob. I don't know what you plan to do about the other 3 casks and the tobacco.
Aye, let me have a think.
What you ought to think yesterday?
I was sick. I will catch up with my thinking now.
Well, it's a known fact you suffer from the gout from time to time. Maybe it's time you came on more serious like.
Serious like? I don't follow you, me lad.
Well, supposing in all this bad weather we've been having, it should come across as more severe like. Perhaps you should take to your bed. No one, not even Maria, would notice whether you recovered or not, and just suppose that you didn't. There'll be a mighty big funeral with a mighty big coffin. You get my drift? You're a big man.
I'm liking this idea, Jim. Pray continue.
I'm burying the merchandise in the coffin. How are we to know if the poor man had been buried by mistake? So the poor Maria, the sorrow and glitter, might have thought she heard Colin from the grave. Wishful thinking, as it were, that her husband ain't dead. So the vicar ain't got no choice but to have the coffin exhumed and taken to Gillard's house for inspection, as it were. The Coast Guard think he'd be dead and pay no attention.
A true miracle from the Almighty. Praise be the Lord. Bob is alive. No one will ever question that. If only for fear of poor Maria, so overcome she'll be. You think she'll play along, Bob?
Aye, if I ask her to. And she'll be even more willing if she gets a new bonnet out of the deal. I'd better find something for Emily as well. Else Maria might get snappy with me.
How about if we swap the coffins? One with you and one with the merchandise.
I could be wiser.
Maria would have promised to send my hat back out to sea, like I asked her before I died.
A poor excuse.
And we can swap one coffin for the other. Aye, the most excellent plan.
You'll have to be sure there ain't no way Jack and Isaac might find out. They might not be too bright, but they is dedicated to their work while doing that.
Dedicated to confiscating our hard-earned goods for themselves, more like.
You don't know that. What about the girls? Can they help us?
Aye. To warn you, totally passing.
There have been more comings and goings from there than is usual.
Well, Bob is ill, and he does have a lot of friends.
Yeah, well, illness can be all too convenient. A cold, foggy night like tonight is just the sort smugglers like to break the law in.
Bob, you need have no fear that the Coast Guards won't find out what they ain't meant to find. Your mother always used to say I was the daughter of the devil himself. And I can prove that to any passing Coast Guard if he so requires.
Aye. Because the time we'd be most in danger is when we change one coffin for the other. Should they be a-watching then?
So what do you have in mind then, Mistress Dugdale?
Just this, sir. I shall live up to what my mother called me when I was a nipper.
Aye, so if we arrange for the coffin to be brought to this house on Friday next, that being a convenient day, I think I have a job for Emily.
Pretty chilly. You better have a nip of that. Mind how you go. That's the last of the brandy we confiscated off Pring. See that? That proves they're up to something. Bob don't let his little girl out after dark, and it's dusk now. She'll be taking a message somewhere. Good evening, Miss Elliot.
Evening, sir.
Why are you abroad so late?
The pirate work. He sent me over town to give it to one of his friends. I can't wait for him to be in Bradley.
Oh, really? What friend?
Mr. Poke.
And what's that in your hand?
His letter back?
What's it say?
I don't know. Pa always told me it was rude to read other people's letters. Now excuse me.
She's a little whippersnapper.
Takes after her dad, she does. Well, now she knows we was here, we'd best be making ourselves scarce. Watching someplace else.
All clear? Well done, Emily. Is that the back oak Aaron Trier promised me?
Yes.
That's good stuff. Right, lads, where's the coffin? Emily, hook on your mother.
Can't I help?
I'll tell you if you can. Hook on your mother.
Let's go get the coffin.
And what exactly is a coffin doing out there, Bob? Please don't tell me you've gotten to kill someone.
I hope that coffin's going to fit me.
More to the point, it's exactly like sits at Dugdale's yard. There's something other than a man inside. I want you to get ready for a nice long sleep in the hereafter.
Considering all the work I've been doing, I need that nice sleep.
That Bob's up to something. His friends and his crew have been in and out of that inn at all hours of the night. And they took a cart of something to Totnes 2 nights ago. Was seen taken in the 7 Stars. In the back, of course. So, and a watch has been put on that house also. But we ain't seen Bob, so it's clearly either ill at the inn or up to some mischief away somewhere. And so we've come to search the inn, like I said we ought. I've got a warrant to do things all proper like. We have come to search the...
Search? Search? Did you not see the party come here earlier? Have you no heart at all? At a time like this? For shame!
We but do our duty, ma'am.
I and my husband barely got 1 day. God rest his soul.
What do you mean, Mrs. Elliot?
I mean, Bob's dead!
I'm sorry. Please accept our condolences. We didn't know.
And you ain't searching him at a time like this. Shame on you!
Of course not. We never would have if we'd known.
Is there anything we can do for you, ma'am?
There is nothing you can do. Good day!
Smell that? Brandy. We've got 'em.
Do you have the time?
Truly a place of safety. What can these men be capable of?
Fine evening, lads! How strange. I always thought they were quite chatty before.
Oh, smuggler Bob, I've done many a job, running across the bay with a cargo of stuff. But Bob wasn't a muff, and he did things in a business-like way.
He's a very small crew, Bob Elliot knew. They were stars of the very first water. The skiff was his pride, like a phantom she glide. No customer's crew ever caught her.
The crew of the Smack were Slippery Jack, Bob Dugdale and Aaron Trier. There was Pogwell and Shears, Greenwood and Lakeman too. In fact, all of those men could be quiet.
The Coast Guard commander knew that rum had been made without it. So said, we must give out that I've gone dead. I'll sleep in the bed like my grandmother bed, and we'll stow all the stuff in the bed.
Terrible signs. Must behold my Coast Guards too. On the Brixham Road with a phantom load, they could solemnly swear it was me.
And each declared Bob Elliot glared, like one they'd rather not name. Whilst he now cocked his tail like a harpooned whale and snorted a crimson flame. I ain't sure about that end verse.
Oh,
They each look like they need a cop for themselves.
I startled them, did you?
You might be saying that. Anyways, the cargo was through. How about we tip a glass to the Almighty for giving us such good fortune?
Aye.
Well, we're off tonight.
Be a first female smuggling group.
Well, it's better than packing fish. It's better than staying home and doing embroidery.
Oh, that's true. I wish I'd been born a man.
Well, this was your idea. Maybe you ought.
Well, we'll do. We'll meet with the Matinee and some men on the bay, and we're switching the real cargo to the road.
Long may we continue doing what we does best.
For many a year, and I spent all my money on whiskey and beer, and now I'm returning with gold and name, so I never will play the one rubber no more, and it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more will I play the one rubber. No, never, no more. I went to an alehouse I used to frequent, and I told the landlady my money was spent. I asked her for credit, she answered me nay. Such a custom as yours I would have any day, and it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more will I play the one rover. No, never, no more. I took from my pocket 10 sovereigns bright, and the landlady's eyes were good wine with delight. I said I have whiskey and points of the best, and the words that I spoke were only in jest, and it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more will I play the one rover. No, never, no more. I'll go home to my village, confess what I've done, and ask them to pardon that prodigal son. And if they will give me as oft times before, sure I never will play the one rubber no more, and it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more will I play the one rubber. No, never, no more, and it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more will I play the one rover. No, never, no more.
What do we do now? It's up good and proper for rascals.
I ain't admitting to Dartmouth that I was fooled by the likes of them. We'd be laughed out of our jobs. There's no evidence at the inn now, anyway. So, anyway, look at what the criminals did to my hat. Shot a hole clean through it. Ain't been seen in Dartmouth until I has a new hat.
Isaac.
You heard what I said. Let's go check on Pring.
Yeah, so what's that you're knitting?
Oh, I'm making a shawl for Emily here.
That's nice of us.
I made one myself. Well, we'll see what I'm done with this one.
Look, I was never much good at knitting, so if I buy the wool,
Yeah.
would you knit me a fancy one?
I'll see what I can do.
Well, that's fair enough, isn't it?
My husband will be right pleased if I can get a little work on this.
Why? My husband's never too happy.
No.
Oh, no! What are you doing? I tell you, that stunt we pulled, you owe him, Bob.
Right?
You were very helpful that time we had the hearing for Pring, Bob. This here is Commodore Davis. He has another smuggler arrested and would like to use the inn for a preliminary hearing, though the first it will be only. This smuggler is accused of piracy as well, which is still a hanging sentence if he's found guilty.
Hi, Piracy? Master Trotter, there ain't been piracy along this stretch of country for more than 100 years. Piracy?
Aye, that's fine, lad. Go ahead. Most honoured, sir.
This is Master Bob Elliot. He runs the inn with his wife there when he's not out at sea fishing.
A pleasure, sir. We won't be forgetting the help you are giving us.
Oh, aye. Well, as long as you and the men buy a few beers, I'll be content.
Tonight, then, 5.
5 would be then.
We'll be wanting that big table there. And the language may not be pretty. The fellow is a desperate one. If your lady wife might be offended by such carrying on, though I would be grateful if you fellas could sit in.
We will.
We are an inn, close to an harbour. I'm well used to sort of people that come in here. My goodness me.
Well, what do you say, Bob?
I knows when to keep my mouth shut.
You certainly do, Bob. I know that all too well. All too damn well.
Why, Bob, he didn't say nothing about unexpected return to life, did he?
Think he would? According to the Admiral, or whatever he thinks he is? Isaac Trotter knows when he's been fooled. But he knows he ain't got no proof. And will just look heartless on account of old poor Maria, who was so upset from the whole mistaken burial of her husband, and an imbecile for being fooled like that. If I knows Isaac Trotter, he has the brain of a peacock. Though the real bird is much finer looking. He'll say nothing. I admit you will be watching us careful like from now on, though. And we had better lie low for a while. At least round Brixham.
I hope you're right, Bob. He gets nasty.
What's there to get nasty about? Occasionally people is buried alive, and sometimes they is heard and dug up in pine. Bob got lucky. The only story is makes sense. The real one would never be believed, except by us as was there.
Well, what are we going to do while we wait on his lordship at 5?
I can think of a few things while we get these chairs set round for him.
Well, she went off to Exeter.
Here they come. Oh, they're early. Oh, dear.
Evening, sirs. Evening. Evening.
Are we all seated?
Aye.
Let's be having your name, young fellow. Things will go easier for you if you do as you're told.
Cat got your tongue?
Since the rest of the fellas here knows me already, you might as well too, sir. My name's Ruth Mervyn.
I thought you was in Exeter.
Oh, I was, for a day. You? I met you at my aunt's fancy dinner party. What are you doing down here?
Doing my job, Ruth. Though, need to think on this one. Never would I believe that a young lady I met in the country would be engaged in such things. Running around dressed as a man.
And why not? You might spend half your life at dinner parties. Some of us ain't so lucky. Besides, I live at home sewing and making paper doilies out my way. It never was, and it never will be. So what are you going to do now?
Well, you did break the law, miss, and severe by firing on the Coast Guards. Look at my hand!
If I had aimed
Well, the shot came pretty close, Ruth Mervyn. And how long have you been in the smuggling game?
Longer than you, and that's saying something.
Isaac, I need a word with you outside. Ruth is a high-spirited girl.
And a criminal, sir.
And we all make mistakes, don't we, Master Trotter?
Not ones like that, sir.
Now, Ruth's father is a twat, and having his daughter clapped in irons and sent to prison isn't going to be good for him. He's a fine fellow, and I won't do that to him. Ruth, I think, has had a fright. Could I prevail upon you to forget this incident?
That wouldn't be correct, sir. I uphold the law and...
And these are poor people, as are you, meaning no offence. If Miss Mervyn goes to prison, there'll be no one to look after Mr. Mervyn. And if Ruth is bound over to keep peace, I think that will satisfy all. Besides, as you may have gathered, I met her at a dinner party, and she caught my eye. I was kind of hoping I caught her.
Very well then, sir, though I ain't at all happy. So, what do you have to say for yourself then, miss?
This world tries to put men at work and keep women sitting at home sewing and playing the piano. But I think sort all of us out there. And with me father ill, there ain't no way I'm going to sit about. Or work mop floors and gut the fish, when I can do a whole lot more than that. So there I was, with a friend, catching fish, when these two fine upholders of the law come sailing over and threatening us. And when I pulled a pistol, which I had and thought only my own defence, they accused me of being a pirate.
Well, you was acting like one. I don't care how rare they might be, and piracy is a hanging offence.
You would want more piracy looking in the mirror, Isaac.
Ruth, may I interject?
Well, that fancy word means you may, if it's something respectful.
Ruth, you have said several times that you do not seek for love in your life.
Certainly not. I like working and being my own woman.
Well, I don't know quite how to tell you this, Ruth. At your aunt's dinner party in Exeter, a young lady caught my eye. I was hoping she had a mind for me too.
Then hang me. Don't your Isaac Trotter you should be hanging for his internal disposal of confiscated brandy. Go to her. Good luck to you.
I wouldn't want to hang you, Ruth. You see, the woman I was hoping to ask to marry me is in this room.
Hey, Bob, was that you? Remember that time you dressed as old Grandma Shears?
That's for a bet, nothing more.
You see, Ruth, the woman I was hoping to ask to marry me, who I haven't been able to think straight since, is you, Ruth. Now, I know you've said you do not seek for a married life, but still, I wanted to ask, for there isn't a girl I could care more for.
You mean that? You want to?
I hope you will not consider me too old, or the life that I offer you too dreary, but your father too will be careful.
Well, I didn't think that when I was when you were down Exeter. And if you think all them fine friends of yours want to accept me, then I'd be glad.
They will accept you, Ruth, for you can be as a lovely lady as you can be well. Though, you will have to promise me no more smuggling. The next time you won't get off so lightly.
Light? She got a life sentence, like I got with Bob!
Thank you very much, everyone, for coming to see the show. As much of it as we've been able to ascertain is a true story, although I have to say the tale of Ruth is a little addition. But the faked death, the ghostly performance of Mr. or Mrs. Dugdale is certainly, as far as it's known, fact. I need to thank a magnificent cast We've got people here who've come down from Exeter every week to rehearse from this, as well as people locally. And they all deserve a massive round of applause. Don't wander off just yet, because there's somebody else who needs even a bigger round of applause. Somebody, I understand, is having their 18th birthday today.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Shirley. Happy birthday to you.
Can we give a round of applause to Laura who put on this show for you all tonight today?
Is going to be a lot more ambitious, a lot bigger, with a bigger cast, bigger set, bigger rehearsals and panics. So we have new filming people and makeup people coming in, who've started by helping us today, Matt and Rihanna.
Is that it?
Thank you, Philip.